Summary of 101 Home Office Success Secrets by Lisa Kanarek. Customer service. A home business puts you in charge. Include these tips in your management philosophy. Tip number 1, do business with a personal touch. When you first started your business, you offered your first clients top-notch service. As your client base grows, keep your level of customer service high. Always look for opportunities to give your clients special treatment. Tip number 5, pay attention to what your customers want. You may be receiving phone calls day after day from clients asking about a service that you don't currently offer. Far from being a nuisance, these calls could be pointing out a golden opportunity. If you listen carefully to what your customers want, your marginally successful business could take off. Tip number 7, only make promises you can deliver, and don't deliver late. Small businesses can make the mistake of making promises they cannot keep in an effort to do business with a large corporation. Examine your schedule carefully to make sure you have the time needed to complete the job. While you want to try to accommodate new clients, unless you have the time to do a good job, you won't keep your new clients for the long term. Tip number 13, don't let your hair down all the way. Some of your clients may also be your friends. The way you should act around clients depends on how well you know them. If you were friends before the person became a client, be yourself. However, if the person was a client first, act professional. If clients see you doing something inappropriate, they may wonder if you bring the same behavior to your work on their accounts. A friend may just laugh off the incident, but a client could lose faith in your ability. Office management. Tip number 17, copy the check when you receive your first payment from a new client. When working with a new client, especially if you are unsure of their stability or payment habits, take steps to protect yourself. Your viable options include doing a credit check or demanding full or partial payment in advance. Vicky Meyer of VW Meyer has a policy of copying the front and back of the first payment she receives from a client. This gives her the bank and account information she needs in case she does not receive future payments. Tip number 19, don't hire friends. Friends will come and go. They will go a lot faster when you hire them. If you consider hiring a friend, ask yourself these questions. Can you tolerate that person for 8 hours a day? If things don't work out, will you be able to fire your friend? Will your friend be able to separate your professional life from your personal life? Marketing. Tip number 27, all your marketing materials should be first class. Your clients may never see your home office, but they will see the materials that come out of it. Whatever leaves your office should be of the highest quality you can afford. Save money on items that won't necessarily affect your output, such as office furniture and your computer. A high-quality printer, on the other hand, is well worth the price. Examine your letterhead, envelopes, and business cards and make sure they project a quality image for your business. Tip number 29, build a website. If you want to compete in the global market, you need to have a website. Having an internet presence only requires a small amount of money each month and can provide clients with valuable information. Pick a short, memorable web address. Some sites offer free website hosting, but you end up with a longer, more complicated address. Spend the money to register your own address with your name or business name and a .com extension. It looks more professional and your clients will remember it. Include your web address on every piece of paper that leaves your office. Tip number 35, send business anniversary cards. Why get lost in the avalanche of mail at Christmas? Send your clients an anniversary card celebrating the first day you met with them. This is much more memorable and most clients will be flattered that you marked the date. Organization. Tip number 40, avoid perfection. Perfectionism hampers productivity. Perfectionists can make the mistake of working on tasks they do perfectly, instead of on tasks that need to be done. Your productivity will improve if you concentrate on handling your top priorities, even if those tasks are not your strengths. Striving for perfection is fine, just don't let it affect the quantity of your work. Tip number 42, don't waste a lot of time for little money. Don't be afraid to say no. A company you have wanted to work with for some time may approach you about buying your products, but they want a discount on your current rates. You could accept the offer in order to establish a long-term relationship. You could also try to renegotiate the price or simply reject the offer. Accepting a low offer can send the wrong messages. You could appear too eager and cause the company to question your abilities. Or, you may seem willing to do whatever is needed to satisfy a client. Balance these considerations when you decide. Remember that it is better to turn down work than to accept a job that will only cause you misery. Personal development. Tip number 50, live what you teach. One key to success is to live by example. People will believe in you when your actions support your words. If you are in the business of helping people improve their communication skills, you should be an effective communicator. Think about what you say before you say it. If you do say you will do something, be sure you do it. Tip number 56, take joy breaks. Don't think that the harder you work, the more productive you will become. Actually, the more you push yourself, the less effective you are. Stop working before you reach the point of exhaustion. Take a joy break. Play with a toy or computer game, or work on a puzzle for a little while. When you return to work, you will be re-energized. Taking a break can help overcome boredom, fatigue, and a sense of repetition. Tip number 58, schedule some brag time each day. Comedians, singers, and professional speakers receive applause and even standing ovations for a job well done. Most people in the business world are lucky to get a pat on the back, much less a bonus or a raise. Generally, people get very little in the way of a physical outpouring of support. You must take responsibility for this. Spend a few minutes at the end of each day on brag time. Look over your schedule, see what you have accomplished, and tell someone. If you have no one to tell, start a journal. Personal work habits. Tip number 62, have the confidence to change what isn't working. Realize when your determination is actually hampering your success. Quite often, determination is crucial to becoming successful, but in some cases it can hurt you. If something isn't working, you have to change it. Change can disrupt your regular routine, so proceed by changing a little bit at a time. When you are comfortable with a few changes you've made, move on to other areas. Tip number 63, dress up as though you are meeting with your best client. Some home office professionals don't feel professional until they put on a suit and tie or a dress and heels. You will be surprised at how your appearance can motivate you, even when nobody else will see. Public relations. Tip number 69, become known as an expert. To gain the reputation as an expert in your field, start by writing for trade publications that cater to your profession. Teach a course in your field. Send press releases detailing your latest accomplishments. This will help ensure that when someone has a problem, or the media wants a quote, you will be the person they call. Tip number 73, keep a one-page fact sheet readily available. Create a simple, one-page fact sheet that details all the important aspects of your company. Then, when reporters call, you will have all of your information available at a glance in a faxable document. For color brochures often contain a lot of irrelevant information and they do not fax very well. Tip number 75, regularly share stories about your achievements with clients. You are more qualified to promote yourself than anyone else is. Share your accomplishments. Don't let modesty stop you from sharing positive news about your business. Research. Tip number 78, read what you need. People either passively absorb information or actively obtain it, which takes more effort and willpower. Today, people are overloaded with information from television, newspapers, magazines, radio, and the internet. You can only handle so much information, so realize when it is time to say, enough. Focus on the information you need. Reading a few magazines and a couple carefully chosen books each week can provide you with all the information you can use. Tip number 80, pay attention to what your competition is doing and modify your approach. Be honest when you research competitors. Don't pose as a potential client. When you call a competitor for information, stress how your business is different from theirs. They will not be as threatened by you and may even refer some business your way. Talk to people who use your competitor. Look for something missing from their service that you can add to yours. Sales. Tip number 84, use the 13-13-12-12 plan. No one likes feeling the pain of rejection. but you have to face the word no when you work in sales. A plan of persistence can turn a weak no into a solid yes. Joe Charbonneau, president of Presentations Incorporated, developed the 13-13-12-12 plan. The plan relies on frequency. On Monday and Tuesday, he and his staff each make 13 voice-to-voice contacts. On Wednesday and Thursday, they each make 12 more contacts. Sales information is sent out only after the day's quota of contacts has been reached. His company averages 2 sales for every 50 calls. Tip number 89, pick the low fruits, don't get too caught up trying to lure that large client with an unlimited budget. Attracting these clients certainly should be a goal for your company, but you can't ignore smaller clients that are interested in working with you today. Golden apples are enticing, but the lower fruits will keep you in business. Tip number 102, give people more than they expected. Having promised you 101 tips, here's number 102. Whatever you promise, give something extra.